Hello, friends, and welcome to our first podcast where we talk about different topics related to EFT or games in general and reality. My name is Redseven, and in this first episode, we talk about armor. Now, a quick word about this video. We planned to do this type of podcast a long time ago, but until now, we didn't have the perfect occasion. It's a long podcast. I initially planned to do a 30 minutes talk about a certain topic, but as it proves, we had many questions and it took a lot more than that to find the right answers. I recommend you to give this video a try and watch it or listen to it entirely because it covers a lot of aspects related to armor and equipment and also has some military perspectives. What I do with stuff I'm interested in is to download the audio version, for example, and listen it while I drive, or you can also do this while you train or doing a walk in the park. It's 1 hour and around 30 minutes. It's obvious that I don't give a damn about the 10 golden minutes that YouTube recommends, but this is purely passion for this game and for the EFT community, and money is in this case not important. The guys come from different lands, Romanians who live in Germany, English, two Americans with military background from Slovenia, Holland. It's clear that we want to see the bigger picture, to have different opinions coming obviously from different players. Please be patient with us, it's our first episode and we did some mistakes maybe. For example, I heard myself starting some of the phrases with not a very pleasant things that happened because of our lack of experience, but it will improve in time. Well, hope you guys enjoy it. Leave some feedback in the comment section after watching the video or while you watch it so that you don't forget. And we will see you guys in the next one with a different cool topic. Okay, I'm gonna start from the top to the bottom. Ark, you're the first one to introduce yourself. Please do it, sir.
All right. I'm Mark. I'm playing games for, I guess, 15 plus years now, casually. And I like the hardcore genre a lot, to be tactical and to think about what your actions are going to be and, to approach some realism. I have no combat experience of any kind. So, yeah, I guess that's it.
All right, MBS, please.
Hello, my name is MBS. I'm also a casual gamer, but always strive for some hardcore games. That's pretty much it.
Roger. Okay, so my name is Redseven. I'm the owner and creator of the Jedi Redseven channel or Redseven channel. People know me by Red or by Redseven. I do not have a military background, but I do like playing survival shooters, hardcore shooters, and I'm a very curious person when it comes to exploring stuff, to finding stuff out, and that's why we are doing this podcast, or that's why I am doing this kind of videos and talking with a lot of people just to find out how situations are, how for example how armor behaves in Escape from Tarkov, or what do soldiers like regarding armor and armor types, and what's the consequences of carrying armor and stuff like that. All right, Royal.
My name's Royal. I'm a ex-professional Cisco player. I played a lot of CS and was a hardcore player of FPS like Tarkov. I've been playing games for like 18 years now, so quite a lot. I have quite a bit of experience with games, but I have no military experience whatsoever.
Roger. All right, Slade.
Hi, my name's Slade. I was a small arms maintainer in the U.S. Army. And as a gamer, I've been gaming for probably about 18 years, maybe 19 years. And I also played competitive Counter-Strike back in the day, and I also play a lot of realism and tactical shooters.
Okay, Joe.
Hello, everybody. Name's Joseph Jones, or otherwise known as the Average Joe 93 from the internets and all that. I was 11 Bravo infantryman in the U.S. Army from the years 2011 to 2014. I have a comprehensive experience. I don't even know if that's the right word for it, but we're going to go with it. Experience when it comes to small arms whether it be weapons, attachments, gear, like the topic we're talking about now, armor, personal protective equipment, stuff like that, military equipment in general. I have a pretty good grasp on. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
All right. Twinkie?
Hi guys, my name is Tunki. I've been playing CS:GO professional for uh, 11 years, and I tried different games, and yeah, I kind of like Escape from Tarkov. So yeah, I'm the happy trigger guy.
All right, and Viking is on the phone. He'll do his introduction a bit later. All right, guys. So before we start, I wanted to say something about why we are here, because this just came into my mind. We need to understand that we are different players, and we shouldn't judge someone who played a lot of Call of Duty, for example, or some other games, or CS:GO or whatever. We shouldn't judge him for when he comes to EFT and he plays his own way. You know, I don't think that this game there's a certain gameplay or a certain way you should play EFT. So keep that in mind. We are not gonna judge people for how they play the game, because there's a lot of people blaming streamers, for example, or blaming YouTubers or whatever. We understand that we are different, but we should also understand that EFT should have been or should be a niche game, and it shouldn't be for everyone. Keep that in mind, okay? All right, so I'm gonna start with the first question, or like the first. Let's find out what armor is. Can you guys define armor? What's the definition of armor?
Did you want me to go ahead and just start from there?
Yes, Joe.
Okay, so armor is, like I said before, is an extension of what we classify as PPE or personal protective equipment. The same genre of equipment is throughout civilian and military fields. But in regards to body armor, it is just another tool that the soldier will use to prevent catastrophic injuries on the battlefield. That being, as you get shot in the chest, the whole entire purpose of that is to not render you completely incapacitated at that moment, and it's not. And its job is to prevent you from being killed if it wasn't otherwise there. If that makes sense.
Roger. Understood. Yeah, I understood it perfectly. Yeah. Anyone has something else to say in order to define armor better or in a different way?
Nope.
All right. So
That's perfect. Okay.
okay.
Nailed it
yeah.
on the head, dude.
I mean, I understood it. Yeah. You said before that armor is a tool or one of the tools. Would you mind sharing with us, or do you? Let's make some brainstorming. Do you guys have some other tools in mind that can protect the player or the soldier in real life?
Brain, common sense.
All right.
No, but no. So you got these things. You got ballistic eyewear, ballistic face masks that you guys see in Tarkov. You got helmets. You have carbon fiber reinforced gloves for just like grabbing onto sea wire or having anything else sharp that you might be, interacting with. You have different types of knives to use for. Well, this is for like improvised explosive devices, IEDs, as you guys know them. That's for that kind of stuff. But anyway, there's tools for everything. You got.
Right.
I mean, it's impossible for me to cover every single tool, but that's just a few.
No, it's cool. So I just wanted to know, apart from like the body armor, there are also different items or equipment, or there are different things that can protect you, like eyewear, for example, or the visor, or some stuff like that, right? Or even some protection for the legs, or whatever the bomb squad has, or yeah. Okay.
Full body suits, yeah, correct. But the eyewear isn't bulletproof; it's ballistic proof. There is a difference.
Right.
All right. Okay. So we have in EFT we have our different armor types, and in real life it should be the same. Would you guys mind defining or telling something about the different armor types, like armor grade and protection and so on?
You can go ahead, Slade. I started the last one.
So like, for example, the 3M the 3M modular body armor that you see in the game, or PACA, for example, that doesn't have Kevlar. I mean, that doesn't have Kevlar. What am I saying? Pardon me. That doesn't have plates. There are no plates in it. It's just a Kevlar. It's a Kevlar weave throughout the armor. So that will only stop smaller caliber rounds such as 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, 45 ACP, and so on and so forth.
Can the
And
3M stop 45 ACP, for example, or 9mm in real life? Can it?
Can
well,
what,
it
Kevlar?
depends. Yeah, Kevlar.
Yeah, a majority of Kevlar vests will stop 45 ACP, correct?
Roger. Okay. So there are
But
different types.
one time.
One time. Okay. One bullet.
Yeah,
to
so
Yeah,
that's a distinguishing factor. So a distinguishing factor because armor is only rated for like a specific amount of a particular caliber.
Right.
So like so civilian class 3A armor is different than class 2 armor and class 1 armor and how many what caliber and how many rounds that it is rated to stop, if that makes sense.
Roger. Yeah. Okay. So there are different type of armors. Some armor is like more simple, more basic. It only stop like, I don't know. There's a type of armor against knives, right? Or small calibers, and then we have armor with plates, Slade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, like for example, the Gen 4 IOTV in the game uses a plate called sappy plates, and sappy plates are ceramic in the front and carbon in the back. So those are only rated for 2 rounds of 7.62 by 39 AP. 2 rounds.
Roger.
So if one is hit, so if you get hit in the ceramic, it will either shatter it a little bit or it will completely shatter it. So that's why it says 1 to 2.
All
So
But what caliber are we talking about? Because 9mm, it will not do that damage, right?
I said 7.62 by 39
762. You said that. Sorry, I missed that.
Can I make a
Okay,
correction
fine.
to your slide?
Is
go
it
ahead.
NATO? Are you
It's
talking
762 by 51. It's 308.
Okay. All right. So
All right.
308 then.
That's all right. I mean, it's
Mhm.
essentially the same thing.
Right, yeah. But so yeah, and you only have, I mean, most guys, especially in garrison, and garrison is in the States or on base, or you know what, I won't even say that. We'll go down range, for example. So we're in a combat situation. The new armors, the Gen 4 that we have today has 4 exactly. So it has 1 in the back, 1 in the front, 1 in the left, and 1 in the right. So you have side plates as well, but they're smaller.
I
They only
see.
protect.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
they only protect certain areas.
What armor are we talking about now? IOTV, for example?
That's still, yeah, we're still talking about the IOTB.
Okay. So there could be there is armor with several plates inside who cover like the most important organs of your body, for like example in the middle chest covering your lung, covering the heart, and there maybe the spine as well, right? Because if you get shot in the spine, then you're down, you're immediately down. And there are also there are also armor types with more plates, left, right, as you said, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's closer towards the waist.
Towards the waist. Okay, and
Yeah,
protecting the groin maybe as well, right?
Yes, that's the pelvic. So that's Kevlar. That's not. There's no plate there. It's
I
just that's
see.
just Kevlar.
Okay,
That goes down.
And do soldiers in real life also have legs armor? Because we were talking about adding this in EFT. How realistic is that?
EOD. Go ahead.
I was to say, yeah, EOD has armor like that, but I mean,
Explain
you know,
EOD, please.
those guys are, so EOD stands for Explosive Ordnance Disposal, or
Okay.
EOD team, and those guys they go out and they defuse IEDs or improvised explosive devices. If they need to go in personally, what they will use is they will use a full suit, like a fully armored suit, to go and defuse the bomb.
Yeah, like stuff
And
like
that-
like we see in the movies, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen Hurt Locker, for example, that's
exactly. I was about to mention it. Okay, good. But what about the normal soldier? He doesn't have that type of armor, right? I mean, he has the
No.
protection for the knees when he needs to prone quickly or to crouch quickly, right? Or to get
Right.
down, right? But that doesn't protect against that doesn't have AP protection, right?
We have ankle pads and we have knee. No, not. Yeah, we have knee pads and elbow pads. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. Good. Should I go with the next question, or you guys have something to add to armor
Yeah, I
types?
would like just to ask those actually that full suit is not combat valid. Like
No.
you will not run in combat with that. So
Yeah,
Absolutely
we'll
not.
talk about that. We'll talk about how we'll talk about the effects of armor on soldiers, and we will touch that subject, MBS.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so my next question will be, or our next question will be, what's the purpose of armor? Because I've spoken with you guys, with some of you guys like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and you guys were telling me that the purpose of armor is actually not to tank more bullets, not to run, when you get shot at, not to run in front of the rifle that's shooting at you and say, you know what, I can tank this because I wear a 4th armor or whatever you wear. You guys come behind me and I'll cover, and you guys kill the guy or whatever. You know, I'm gonna distract him. The purpose of armor, it's a different one, right? Can you guys explain, or can you guys say something about it?
Well, I mean,
Go ahead.
I mean, Joe, you can go. Or
if you wear armor, you wear it with your purpose to save your life, and if somebody if he's shooting at you, you're not going to tank all the bullets and save the other guys because you're risking your own life, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. That's my point. Yeah.
I would like to say I don't know so much about armor. I didn't wear any, but my opinion was always it only reduces the damage you get from
Right.
bullets. Like I don't think it protect you like that. That you can tank out like 30 rounds and so on.
Okay,
Absolutely not.
so what we see, I don't want to accuse streamers or so, but there is where we see it, right? Or on YouTube, what we see there is actually not realistic, right? When you get shot at, when someone sprays and prays to kill you, you don't, you just back the fuck up, right? You just go back and say, dude, this is too much for me. I'm gonna back up and flank him or whatever, right? That's the plan, right? I mean, that's the purpose of armor, to just cover you until you reach a safe position to not die, right? I mean, can you guys say something about this? I mean, Ark, you don't have a military background. What do you think about this?
I would say that's essentially. Oh, you say Arcane? My bad.
Yeah, let's go with Ark, and then we'll come back to you, Joe.
That's fine. No worries.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what you said is like correct. However,
Okay.
for the game as it stands, that's not viable, I think. So I mean, like two rounds and you're down. It's Tarkov doesn't seem like that kind of game at the moment. And the question is, if you want to go towards that, what do you need to change? And I think you need to change a bit too much at this point. So, but that said, I think the way armor works now is just stupid.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
no doubt.
that's a different topic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, the purpose of armor and from training purposes and stuff like that, from what I've gathered, is literally just to save you from that 1 or 2 rounds that hit you as you're moving or as you're engaging the enemy. You're not going to be standing there taking a metric fuck ton, excuse my French, of rounds hitting you in the chest. Like, it's literally designed to save you from 1 or 2, and that's all it's rated for, is to protect you from those 1 or 2 bullets that just stray and hit you and stuff like that. Because in real life, combat isn't the way it is in Tarkov. So in order for the game to actually be fun, you can't actually be 100% realistic when it comes to the armor and stuff like that, just as Arcane was explaining.
Of
But
course.
yeah, so in like the Arma sense, like the way they have armor and Arma, that makes a little bit more sense. But Tarkov is a little bit more smash W and run into the the firefight, and that's not how that works in real life. But
It doesn't.
yeah,
It doesn't.
it's literally just to protect you from 1 or 2 bullets. It's just so you don't get one tapped by a sniper or one tapped by a stray bullet. You know what I mean? It's literally just one hit, and then you're moving and you're trying to get the hell out of where you were just at.
Okay, if we compare EFT, because this idea just came into my mind, if we compare EFT with games like Squad, for example, or Arma 3, right? Then there, you see that huge difference in Squad, for example. If someone if someone is shooting at you, then you need to go back, you need to hide, because the suppression effect is very high, and you will die by 2 or 3 shots, you know. In EFT it's kind of like Battlefield, if I'm not wrong, because I just played Battlefield 5, and I saw that when I got shot at, I didn't go on that my first instinct was to shoot back. Instead, in Squad, for example, or in Arma 3, Arma 3, I think, has the same suppression, a similar suppression effect, right? If you get shot at, you cannot respond with the same accuracy. Your vision gets blurry and stuff like that, right? And EFT is kind of like that. If you guys, do you guys agree?
Yeah, it's not like Squad. So you the whole point of EFT is once you get shot at, to shoot back immediately and try to win that fight. So the armor is there just so you can take a few shots and then turn and look
And
at the guy and shoot him in the face. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
okay.
Squad, you get shot twice in the chest, you're dead.
And you're dead. Yes.
Yeah, so like an M4 in Squad, 2 or 3 shots and you're guaranteed dead in the chest.
So,
But that's what I don't, so the way that Tarkov is right now, it's not arcadey by any means. Like, it's still realistic bullet physics and stuff like that, but it is an arcadey way of engaging targets. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So just
Call
to
of Duty sense.
do you say recapitulate? Just to just to
Recap.
recap. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So just to recap this question, because the answer was a bit long. What's the purpose? What's the main purpose of armor, guys?
To save you from 1 or 2
words.
rounds.
Again, please. We were talking at the same time.
Yeah, just to protect you from 1 or 2 rounds.
Roger. And
Guaranteed rounds. Like there is circumstances where it's more, but yes, it's literally just so you'll be walking and you get shot, and then you have enough time to react and get to cover, and then
before you die.
The medic can apply first aid. Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
All right. Okay, let's jump to the next question, and in this question we're gonna need you guys, the guys with military background, a bit more. And that question is, what type of armor do soldiers use in real life? I mean, what did you guys use? Or maybe you know of someone that uses that type of armor, or policemen only use like Kevlar armor and stuff like that. Or what does the president use when in a certain danger situation, or some stuff like that? Maybe you have some experiences that you want to share with us.
Wait, you want me to answer this later, you?
I mean, I was gonna say, like, the armor that the U.S. Army uses is just IOTVs. We used to use IBAs, and IBAs are a bit of they don't have as much protection as the IOTVs do.
Okay. So currently, American soldiers overall in America wear IOTV, or
Mm-hmm.
That's standard issue.
standard?
Yeah, standard issue.
All
Like
right.
standard issue armor.
And
So-
IOTV has or carries SAPI plates, right?
Mhm.
He's happy
Is-
to be
yes,
more specific.
okay.
Yeah.
So one follow-up question: is the IOTV like an actual suit, or more like a something you also add a plate carrier to, or something? But that didn't without plates.
It's
maybe. Just
modular,
a
if that's what you're asking.
It's
So it's a
modular, yeah,
it's a
okay.
vest. You can take the arms and everything off. You can take the groin protector off, which most people do. Yeah,
I see.
but it's just a vest.
Okay.
Follow-up
okay,
question
okay.
also. There is probably some special rules also when they issue different armor. Is any kind?
Yeah, so you have, when I was overseas, we had these things called plate carriers, and essentially what they are is they are the IOTV, but without all the extra Kevlar around it. So literally, you have enough Kevlar to hold the plate itself. So the front plate, the back plate, the kidney plates, and that's it. It's high mobility armor, so you don't have to worry about, because the IOTV is a pretty heavy piece of equipment,
Yeah.
and especially with
like,
plates.
How much?
About
I would probably
45
say 30
pounds.
pounds. Yeah, 40 pounds. Yeah.
40
And the plate
pounds.
carrier itself, the plate carrier itself is probably half that, maybe a third of
So
that.
that's like 18 or 9 something kilos, maybe.
So that may not sound like much,
Yes.
like so people may be like, okay, well I can shrug that off. No, but when you're wearing that for hours and hours and hours, it will take a toll on you. It will.
And on top of that,
see.
the IOTV holds heat, and like
Yeah.
in desert environments, you don't want that because you'll dehydrate faster. But that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, no, we'll touch that topic as well. Okay, good.
Yeah,
So
that's clear as
IOTV
well.
IOTV for the American soldiers as a standard. Do you guys know
Yes,
what?
that's just a standard. Yep.
Yeah, okay. What policemen were, or sadly the guys from France are not with us today because Shugart would have had some a good opinion about this, or TT maybe, but we don't have them with them. So we need to use what we have. What do policemen use, for example? Kevlar vests, right?
They generally use civilian Class 3A armor.
And that is.
Sorry, I should have
What does
explained
it
that.
have?
It's just Kevlar. Yep.
It's just
so-
Kevlar. Okay,
So handgun, ammunition, stuff like that.
I see. Okay. But do soldiers go without armor into the battle? Is that even allowed?
Okay, so the way that the military works in the U.S., you have really stringent rules when it comes to uniforms and stuff like that.
Okay.
And one of those things is armor. So, like, if you go outside the wire, which is like, you leave the safety of your base, like if you don't have even like the correct gloves on, like you can get in huge trouble. So,
I
yes,
see.
no, you would
Okay.
never leave the wire without your armor. Well, just because one, you get in trouble, but two, and this is the biggest reason is you're exposed. Like if somebody could just hit you in the chest and you're dead. Like, and then that armor has the potential of saving. Yeah. Anyway, so nobody in their right mind would ever do that on purpose,
I see.
and
Okay.
you'd get in trouble if you did.
Okay, cool. I think we covered this topic as much as we can. Sadly for me, or I could say Ark, Twinkie, maybe MBS, we don't have too much experience with what Romanian soldiers or soldiers from Holland use, or Stalker here wrote me on Discord that OLV is the standard armor for Polish army. Okay, used by armed forces of the Republic of Poland. He say the vest, depending on applied ballistic inserts, protecting from 2 to 4 classes. Okay, so this is what we know from Stalker from Poland. Yeah. Sadly, I cannot help with saying what Romanian or German soldiers use. Probably in the next topic or with some other occasion we'll do that.
I know what Romanian have already.
Nothing.
Yeah, paper sheets.
No, they do have armor. They do have armor. I don't
honestly,
know.
I think by the
Twinkie,
ally standards, most of the armies got similar armors values.
Okay. So you think that there's a standard almost overall? It could be. I mean, in the modern countries, right?
Yeah, I
It
think
could
so.
be.
Yeah.
It could be. Yeah, NATO and ONU and so on. Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
But of course you have armor, Twinkie. You have the mags in your chest vest, right?
Yeah. Or the Bible, Okay. All right. So the next question that I want to ask you guys, and not only the guys with military background, because we all have logic and we can think on what effects do armor have or has on the soldier in real life. We are talking about real life, of course, and I mean here, what about water consumption, or what about jumping abilities, or what's about with the weight? I mean, would you be able, or even will you be so flexible as without armor? Would you be able to move as fast, or to run, or to sprint, or to crouch, or to even prone? What are the differences there? What do you guys think? And of course, not only the guys with military background. I mean, the guys with a good logic, healthy logic, can say something about this.
I think Tarkov does a really good job of simulating movement and stuff like that with armor. So, you know how we always complain about running out of breath all the time in Tarkov?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna happen. if you're carrying any amount of equipment. Anytime that your body's being hindered from moving naturally, you're going to wear yourself out faster. And of course, the weather and everything like that will play a huge role in how the armor is interacting with you and your skin, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, like you were saying, logically speaking, you're going to have more stuff on. It's going to weigh you down more. You're not going to be able to do as much stuff. But yeah, like I said, Tarkov itself is actually a pretty good indication of how it would work, generally speaking. There's obviously more vaulting involved and more movements that you can't just simulate in a game because there's too many that you have too
of
many
course.
variables. So
Like using the body system in real life is totally doable. Climbing a 3-meter wall, for example, in real life is doable, and in EFT it's not represented that well. You need to jump on top of the shoulders guy and then jump above and stuff like that. It's not that realistic. Yeah, but we understand that it's a game and it cannot reproduce everything that you have in real life.
yeah,
of
correct.
course. But
Correct.
to add something that EFT misses, that EFT doesn't have in the game, and Squad, for example, has. If you run for like 1 or 2 minutes with your gear on you, of course, when you stop and you're out of breath, because you mentioned that, Joe, you don't have this, or you shouldn't have the same accuracy as if you were being, I don't know, fresh, right?
No, absolutely not.
No, that is wrong.
EFT doesn't have that system or that mechanic in the game yet, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's something
No.
that
So-
needs
so-
to be
Yeah,
added.
only if your stamina bar is like completely empty, then it will.
Oh yeah, indeed. Yes. But is that the case in real life? I mean, you need to be exhausted to don't have accuracy, or after 100 meters carrying your 19 kilo IOTV, you lose your accuracy. You're not that fresh as before, right?
Right, 100%. So we actually have training called move and shoots. So what we do is we will get full kitted out. So we'll have all our body armor, everything that we would have.
Yeah.
Load mags and everything like that. And we will run for an extended period of time. We'll carry a dummy, like a simulated casualty, stuff like that. And then we'll go and we'll have to complete that obstacle course or whatever we're doing running in a certain amount of time. And then we'll have to go lay down and we'll have to actually shoot. And it's almost impossible because another thing that it wouldn't be viable to have in a game because it would just be game breaky. But like your glasses get foggy, the sweat gets on the optics and stuff. There's a lot of variables. But yeah, so just your heart rate in general, trying to accurately steady your muscles when your heart is going, at 130 beats per minute is nearly impossible.
Okay.
So you can see scores and accuracy drop by nearly 65% just from having an heart rate. Yep.
Okay, so you don't have to be. No, it's not necessary to be exhausted, like completely exhausted. If you run like, I don't know, some kilometers, then you shouldn't have the same accuracy as you have when you're fresh, right?
Right, because your heart rate.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I just ask
yeah.
here, Joe, when you stop then, and do you wait to at least to get something back, or just start shooting?
In real life, 90% of the shooting we do is suppressive fire, so you're not trying to aim and shoot somebody 400 meters away. If that answers your question.
Oh, okay. No, I meant like if you have to, like hypothetically, you need to shoot a target like 20 meters distance, and you were like running like hell before. Did you stop, get some breath back, and then shoot, or you try to shoot it immediately?
Well, a life-threatening situation, you would just shoot.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, so if you're just doing it to shoot at like a target for like training, you would wait a second and get some stamina back. But like in a life-threatening situation, we're assuming that this is we know it's hypothetical. If some dude's 20 meters in front of you getting ready to kill you, you're obviously going to shoot at him. If that answers your question.
It's your life in danger. Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But I meant like regeneration, or it's more quicker if you stop then a little bit, and if you
you're talking a very slight accuracy boost by just just stopping for a second and breathing, because you're not going to be able to bring that heart rate down so quick. But that's one of the things you do in the military is you condition your body to regulate your heart rate. So you'll run and then walk, and run and walk like for months and months and months, and then that allows your body to raise its heart rate as fast as it needs to. It's kind of
To
like a car,
adapt,
how
yeah.
you get the temperature to where it needs to go. And then if you need to slow that heart rate down, if you're actually in good physical condition, like I'm not anymore because I'm out and I'm fat now. But so like the ability to condition yourself to bring that heart rate back down to a level where you can like maintain accuracy that is worth the shit. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why physical fitness is such a big deal.
So
And-
that's something that's very good represented in other games, but not that good in EFT. It's still missing. I mean, Ark has a good point here. He said that when you're completely out of stamina, and that is true, and I can show some footage with this. Your weapon sways or moves up and down, and you cannot. I mean, if you start shooting, then you will probably not miss all the shots, but it definitely your hands are tired and the weapon starts moving. Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Even
only
just
when you're
holding-
completely exhausted in EFT.
Yeah, so even holding your weapon at the high ready is an extremely exhausting event.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, we're
Because you
talking
got
about
a
kilos
15
here. Yeah.
pound, with ammo weapon, and you're trying to hold it up, like you're using leverage. So you got, how do I explain this? So, when your arms are extended out, like it's harder for you to hold something that's heavy. And whenever you're at the high ready, like you always are in EFT, that would actually take a lot of your stamina away. So like whenever you aim down sight or whatever, and you see your stamina drop, like that, if it was realistic, which I'm not saying it should be this way, it would take your stamina down a lot. Like whenever we're walking and patrolling, our weapons are not at the high ready at all times.
Right, we're at the low ready. Or
But
when I was gonna say when we're like bounding cover, like when we're going from cover to cover, we're gonna be at the low ready, and then as soon as we get into that cover, we'll go to the high ready and then start to engage. Like we'll obviously try to peek and then engage target if we need to.
Okay.
But I see in Tarkov, if you aim down the sight and you're standing, you're losing slowly your stamina.
Right.
If you check.
Yes, I've noticed that as well. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that is,
That's
that is
actually as a it's shown in the game, and I like it actually.
Yeah. Well, me and Twinkie, we went to shoot some weapons at a shooting range here. We don't have too much experience, but this is what we have. And we were lucky to shoot the Car 98, which I enjoyed a lot, So for the time that I didn't carry the weapon and run with it because you're not allowed to do that, You have to stand there and shoot. But for the time I shot the weapon, Twinkie can witness, I didn't experience fatigue, So I guess that it is somehow realistic, because thinking that in the game you will probably go 1 or 2 rounds and play, how much is that? Like 20 minutes or so, right? When you go at the shooting range, then you shoot like half an hour and you don't notice that exhaustion, that fatigue, right? I mean, Twinkie, you can say the same, right? It wasn't that.
That is true.
Right? Well,
I mean,
we
the
could
weapon is on the
shot
table.
and keep our accuracy properly, right?
I mean, the weapon is on the table, right? So you can watch through it like 2 hours. Even if, you can fall asleep looking through the weapon.
Yeah.
and
So
don't
you're
notice
saying
the
that
fatigue,
carrying it's a whole different story.
Yeah, carrying it's a whole different.
And,
Yeah,
and
so-
carrying your gear on top of that, then it's it's something else, right?
Right. So you guys understand what I mean by high ready?
High ready means pointing the weapon, right?
Right. Correct. So you're essentially aiming, but you're not actually aiming down sight.
Yeah, exactly. Just pointing,
So-
raising
right,
your
so-
arms and pointing the weapon. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So
Mhm.
holding that weapon at your shoulder at the high ready and walking around and clear. So we'll have the weapon at high ready when we're clearing rooms or clearing alleyways and stuff like that. Because in those situations, you need to be ready to shoot at any particular point in time. That alone, with all the body armor and everything you have on, because I mean, I can get into weight and stuff like that a little bit later, but just the weapon weight itself. So an M4 weighs about 8 pounds, or what's that, like 4 kilos?
Yeah.
And then, just imagine holding that out and trying to steady that
Hours
as
and
best as
hours.
possible.
or-
It's not even necessarily holding the weight; it's steadying the weapon
Mhm.
and being effective when it comes to when you need to shoot.
Okay. There are a lot of side effects here. It's normal. It's normal, yeah, and it's understandable. Yeah, you're carrying a lot of weight with you. Yeah. Okay, should we cross to the next question,
Wait,
guys?
wait. I wanted to talk about the food and drink, right?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
If they want reality, I mean, none of the games they really respect that. I mean, in real life, you can stay 30 days without food, and
Only
you can
with
stay like
water and stuff.
150 hours without water. But in this game, you die after you are at zero hydration, like hydration. I don't know how you
Yeah,
call it.
but it cannot be realistic.
Yeah, but and
We
what
need
is
to
dumb
understand that.
when someone is shooting you, you lose your legs, your limbs. I mean, you lose your head, but you have only your chest. How the fuck do you walk? Do you like that? Like that is very stupid in this game. Oh, I got
Yeah.
my broke legs. My legs are broken. Oh, my hands are broken. Oh, I
Yeah, you could
Honestly,
just use a painkiller. It's still
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, or yeah. Okay,
I mean,
cool.
for
sorry,
fuck's
but
sake.
honestly, the game would be really shit if you couldn't then crawl to
Yeah,
the exit.
exactly.
after
Remember, just as a small comparison, but we will talk about this with a different occasion. Just as a small example, remember in DayZ when you didn't have a knife and someone or you somehow broke your legs. Remember, you had to crawl towards the beach and craft two stones. I don't think that we want an EFT like that. I mean, what should I do? Should I crawl between all those calves? And that's not possible. We need to understand.
Oh, you'll
this.
be miserable.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
too-
Let's
too
go to the
much
next
of a
one, and we'll
challenge.
keep
Right.
realism. We'll keep those or that topic for a different occasion. Okay.
Hmm.
So the next question that I want to ask you guys is how resistant is armor, or how resistant should armor be in EFT, based on real life, of course.
The game,
We are yeah.
I
So
will say, cannot be the same like in real life, honestly, but it shouldn't be like such big difference.
Yeah, I can say
Right.
more. I can say
Yeah,
more about
yeah.
that, but I'm gonna let you guys go first.
I think the biggest problem at the moment is the huge difference between rounds of the same caliber,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
even
BP and
between the
BS.
different calibers. There's like huge difference.
well,
It's
and
not necessarily logical, I guess.
well, I can explain if I could. I could
Sure.
elaborate a little bit more on ammo and how that works.
Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so when you have a full metal jacket, which is just a typical ball round, so it's literally just lead with a metal jacket around it.
Mhm.
What it tends to do is when the round hits, it tends to just like not mush, but it just like Play-Doh. So if you were to take Play-Doh and shape it like a bullet, then just throw it on the table, that's what full metal jacket does.
Okay.
Then you have like armor piercing rounds, which they actually have a brittle or extremely fragile tip, whether it be tungsten or a steel piece. And whenever it hits, it kind of has an explosive reaction to it. So as it hits, it makes a hole. You know what I mean? So it makes a hole, and then the actual round, the lead round, goes into that hole. And then hollow points. What hollow points do? They're mainly designed. They're actually 100% designed for flesh targets. Whenever it hits flesh, it's like flowers out. So if you look at like imagine like a dandelion, for instance, or not a dandelion, but like a sunflower, for instance, the leaves on a sunflower. So the bullet's small, and then as soon as it hits, it flowers out and tumbles as it hits the flesh target, and that's what causes a massive fuck ton of damage to flesh targets. But the caveat to that is if it hits armor, it loses all of its energy and just spreads out and hits the armor. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
But I would like to ask if a hollow point now hit the armor.
Again and
Is armor
again,
more
MBS.
damage?
I didn't understand you. Again, please.
When the hollow point bullet hit the
Yeah.
armor,
Yeah.
that means the armor is more damage than from the bullet than from armor piercing properly.
No, it would be less damage.
Less damage. Okay.
Yes,
Didn't know
because
that. That's why I asked.
the potential energy is spread across a wider surface area on a hollow point, and against soft targets, even some Kevlar, I wouldn't say all. Kevlar is designed to absorb that kind of stuff, but when it hits an actual fleshy target, it's designed to rip and tear that fleshy target. But if it hits a solid or a really dense target, whether it be solid being an actual armor plate or ceramic plate, or a Kevlar piece, because it's a Kevlar is just really, really dense fibers. It loses that potential energy because the surface area expands. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
So, like I said, with armor piercing, the armor piercing is designed to almost drill a hole into the armor, and then that allows the actual round to go through that hole. So, like, I'll use an RPG for example. It's a little bit different, but it kind of explains what happens. So, in RPG, it's got a copper center. It's almost a molten copper center in the center of the actual round itself. Whenever it hits that copper, it's like a cone. It turns into molten copper, and that molten copper drills a hole into the actual armor of like a tank or whatever, and then the explosive charge behind it goes through that hole and then fragments after that.
And makes a lot of damage already inside, right? Where it should be, right? Where it should make damage.
Right, so an armor piercing round you'll only see a little hole in the armor, but behind that hole is a huge like damage cone area, and that's the way hollow point works for flash targets. So if you look at Ball 556 does the same thing, but I'll explain that in a sec. The way hollow point works is it's a small hole, and then it fragments and it flowers out, and it has a massive exit wound.
Okay.
So it destroys everything past the point of impact.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. Very nice explanation. Yes, very interesting stuff. Okay.
So that's the difference.
So how resistant is armor then? I mean, do we have armor that could resist 762 caliber or even more than that?
Yes.
Do we have plates that can resist or can outstand 50 caliber, for example?
No,
We don't.
absolutely not.
Absolutely
Because
not,
because 50 caliber BMG or 12.7 millimeter for the Russian counterpart of it is anti-material. In fact, like people, so actually in the service, you can't, like, since we act, with the Geneva Convention, you cannot kill or you cannot take down any flesh targets with a 50 caliber BMG. Because that's against the Geneva Convention. Because it's considered an anti-material rifle.
Okay. So,
and also on
what
top of that,
type
can
of
I add
armor
that?
we have?
Yeah.
I mean, what's the maximum caliber that the armor can outstand or resist against?
308, 762 by 51 NATO. 308.
Okay, and we are talking about what, metal plates or what type? Titanium plates, or what are they made of?
Both. So, well, metal's titanium, but I see what you're saying. No, so you got metal plates and you have ceramic plates.
No. Then let me just correct myself. Steel. I wanted to say steel plates or titanium plates. Can steel outstand 308? 762 by 51, is it, or 54?
Yes, it's 51. It's the M80 rounds. M80 is 308.
So is steel resistant against such caliber?
Yes.
Yes. So steel is it, and titanium even more, right?
I'm not familiar with titanium body armor, so I can't answer that.
Okay. So we do have armor that can resist against 762 caliber.
By
If you're
51,
getting shot in the chest, right, in that plate, right? Currently in EFT, from what I know, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. If you wear 4th armor, your whole upper body is protected in the same way, right? I mean, your ribs are protected the same if you get shot in the ribs. I mean, we did some testing, right, Twinkie? We did some testing with 545 BS and BP rounds, right?
Yep.
And we shot ourselves in the stomach, in the chest, in the back, and we had the same protection. Am I wrong? Right or wrong?
Yeah, we even shot the hands, and the hands were the damage was absorbing the 4th armor,
Okay, so it's one piece. It shouldn't be like that in the game, because reality is not like that. You only have a metal, whatever it is, steel, titanium, whatever. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with this stuff. So it should be one plate in your upper body front side, like the chest, and maybe one behind, because I heard that there is some armor with some plates on the back covering your spine or your lungs or whatever. right? It should be like this in the game, as because the game is again a simulation of reality, right?
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It should be like that.
So with
Yeah.
IOTV, and I'm assuming with Ford Armor, there actually is plates for the side. We call them kidney plates
Okay.
to protect from bullets from the side. Just probably 3 inches under your armpit, and it covers basically from your pelvic bone about halfway up your rib cage.
Okay. And are they made of the same material as the chest plate?
The main plate. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. The only thing that is it's Kevlar, you said, is the groin part, for example, or the shoulder part, right?
And the in between
Yeah.
parts as well. I
Well,
guess.
yeah, and the entire vest is actually Kevlar.
Yeah.
The plates actually fit in pockets inside that.
Okay.
And just to elaborate, plates are only designed to cover the most vital organs, so your lungs, your heart, and your stomach.
Okay.
So, because in regards to like armor and bullet wounds, the intestines wouldn't be considered a catastrophic wound,
I
but
see.
the stomach would be.
Yeah. Okay. Is armor repairable in real life?
To a degree. So with IOTV armor, you have a Kevlar sheath, and then you have Kevlar inserts, and then you have the plate in between the Kevlar inserts. So you can actually, theoretically speaking, what we normally do in the military is completely trash the armor just because the potential for it to be compromised is extremely high. But hypothetically speaking, you could replace the plate and the actual Kevlar inserts inside the actual armor if it was compromised.
Okay, so replacing them, but you cannot fix them, right? The metal plate if it's bent,
You
say
cannot.
bent, yeah.
You could, I mean, you technically could, but it just
Yeah.
it would be as nearly as effective, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like
So
the
you-
armor is
cannot-
compromised.
You cannot get
Yes.
the same density of the material back.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and
Okay.
ceramic is a whole different story.
okay,
Yeah.
it's a whole
Yeah.
different story. They are not repairable, right?
So ceramic, the way it's designed is it disperses energy by breaking apart the actual ceramic armor.
Okay.
And ceramic armor is generally rated to every inch away from a bullet impact. It can take the same rated caliber bullet in within an inch diameter around that area. So a piece of like a steel piece of armor could, theoretically speaking, take 2 or 3 hits to the same hole.
Yeah.
Maybe I would say 2 to be safe. In the same exact spot, it could withstand 2 7.62 by 51, otherwise known as 308 rounds.
Okay.
Ceramic, on the other hand,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you hit a spot, it's gonna blow that whole section out of the ceramic, and it's just gonna leave a hole there. So if
I
somebody
see.
hits you in the same spot, it's just gonna go right through, like you don't even have armor.
Okay. Next question that I want to ask you guys, everyone here. How realistic is armor represented in EFT? And I'm talking about stats, movement, jumping, weight, and all that stuff. Water, all that stuff.
So I've watched a couple of what's his name? He talks with Clean
Anton.
and
Apollo.
Anton, exactly.
Anton.
Man, you read my mind. I've watched some of his armor like comparison videos or just like armor testing videos, and a helmet taking 30 rounds of any caliber, doesn't matter if it's a 9mm full metal jacket or a 308 round, is completely unrealistic. But the reason why it's like that is because this armor is expensive in game. So if they made it where it's only going to take 1 round or 2 rounds, like people wouldn't wear it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well, they can counter it, so the armor can get cheaper, maybe.
I mean, yeah, you could do that. But like I said, the investment value wouldn't be there. So let's say full IOTV Gen 4 armor is what, 150,000 rubles in the game.
Around that, yeah.
So in order for me, so let's say, okay, pack armor, which is just Kevlar, which is just like a civilian class 2 armor, which is just small caliber handgun ammo and shotgun like buckshot and stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
what was that, 25,000 rubles for pack, I think it is.
Something like that.
So the risk versus, so you got this armor that's 25,000 rubles that can potentially save you from 9mm rounds, and then you got this armor that is 150, and I'm basing this off realism values, which is going to be 5 times as expensive, can potentially save you from 2 or 3 rifle rounds. It's like at what point does it not become worth it to buy the expensive armor?
Yeah, because
instead
those
of,
rounds cost $4.
Yeah.
Basically. Plus the
Actually,
rifle.
actually, the devs already talked about this, and their opinion is clear, and it makes sense for me. We shouldn't simulate, or we shouldn't reproduce the exact reality, because if so, then no one will wear a helmet. I mean, why would I wear a helmet if I get one shotted, and it will never protect me? Why should I wear one? Although I've seen some footage with 545 weapon shooting at the helmet, and the helmet didn't get destroyed, but it got damaged. So you definitely get some brain damage or some concussions or whatever you get. I don't know the exact terms.
Oh, it could knock you out.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So instead of a guy tanking 3 rounds of SP 762, or 545 SP rounds, 30 rounds, that's not possible. That doesn't make sense. Instead of that, what if in the game after the second round, let's say, not AP, I'm talking about normal rounds here. What about if after the second round you get a lot of damage, you blurry vision, or
blood damage?
Even you fall down on the ground, and all gets dark and stuff like that, because right now it doesn't make sense. You get like 39 millimeter bullets in the head, and nothing happens. You just turn around and kill the guy, and I'm applying the same rule to the body armor. We understand that the 4th armor is not separated right now, like Joe mentioned before, with like IOTV and such. We understand that, but what if the 5th round, SP round, for example, or PS round, or whatever, a PS although has a bigger probability to penetrate through, but what if the 5th round does some effect, and this is probably something that we'll have to talk when we talk about blunt damage, because the guys promised us that they will increase the blunt damage. Does that make sense for you guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it should be like that, right? I mean, something like that should be added, right?
Yes. If they're going for the realism aspect, because like I said, the way that the EFT and the way I play it now, the meta is going towards aggressive arcadey, not Call of Duty quite, but more Battlefield style shooting, where like you're getting shot at and you're immediately pushing that dude and you're running straight at him, trying to absorb every single round that they shoot back at you. So the meta of the game would change drastically if you got 2 rounds taken, well, let's say somebody fires 5 rounds burst 545 into your chest and it knocks you over, the potential for people to want to push somebody who's shooting at them is going to go down significantly. So it's going to change the way the game is, and I don't want this to get confused, but I like the way that the game is right now when it comes to the aggressiveness of firefights. But if they're leaning more towards realism, then they would need to have some kind of psychological or trauma based event based on being shot. Because I mean, like you were saying about squad, like you're getting shot at, you're freaking the hell out. So like in Tarkov, if you get shot at, like you kind of like get a little bit of a blurry like vision, stuff like that, but it doesn't actually affect the way that your character is.
No, exactly,
is
and it doesn't affect your
moving.
accuracy. You can turn back. That was something that changed, or that was different when aim punch was in the game. But we can talk about that in a different topic as well. Now I'm going to ask a very important question to all of you guys, and everyone should have an opinion about this. Would you like EFT to be like that? To be more punishing, or exactly what we have spoken before?
I think that the way EFT is designed right now is, which I like, there's no hand holding in the game. So if you're a new player, you need to figure out real quick what works and what doesn't work, or you're not going to progress very far in the game. And I like that, and I have a feeling that punishing people who have put in a lot of time and money into gear sets would serve an opposite effect of what I think they're going for. For example, if I get myself a full, full M4 kit with Ford armor, face shield and all that stuff, and I go into factory, and
Yeah.
some dude with a 9mm, just P226 or whatever, shoots me 3 times in the chest, and my guy falls over because of blunt damage, I'm going to be a bit salty. So I
Yeah,
think there's
but
a fine
listen to
balance.
this, Joe. Listen to this. You're going into factory because you know you're Iron Man, okay? But this guy who is a very skilled player and he's a low level player, he just did a wipe and wants to take that challenge again. He's level 5. He only has the Glock. For example, you don't have the Glock with level 5 or whatever. Okay, so the guy is very skilled and he has some tactics. He knows that you're Iron Man and that you're gonna trust, okay, and you're gonna go for it. That guy's tactics and skills are being punished because you have better armor. Does that make sense? Is that correct? For you?
Being tested. His skills are being tested, if that's what you mean to say.
No, not tested, but his skills and his talents and his tactics are being punished. Right now in EFT, tactic doesn't count. It's just like run and shoot and gun down and that's it. Tactic.
Right, there's no
tactics.
calculated movement involved.
I'm sorry.
There's no, you're not calculating movements. You're not trying to get a better what's the word? You're not trying to get a better vantage point of people. You're just trying to show yourself and then
Yeah,
push
that's
through them.
my point. Right now, with Iron Mans in the game, that's exactly what we have. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's someone with the 9mm. I just can turn. That happened to me so many times, and to you guys as well. I mean, no one can say that didn't happen to him. Either that or he didn't play the game. He played something else. Sometimes you get shot at, and you get shot at so many times that you even have time to turn back. Evaluate the situation, see where the guy is, and knock him down, put him down, and kill him. Is that fair for the guy that approaches stealthy with trying to headshot you? And in my opinion, that's not fair. I mean, I
right,
understand
and that's the
that
whole balance. That's the whole balancing I was describing. Is I think that EFT should reward progression as well. So reward people for going out and using the high level gear, because I think a lot of the issues and a lot of the reasons why I don't take high gear is bugs, but we can get into that later. But one of the big reasons why I don't take in like Ford armor and stuff like that is because I know the leg meta is a huge deal, and I've done it many times where I take a Clint or a Keter and I just go full cyclic on some dude's leg who's fully kitted out and take him out. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So-
That's
all right,
mostly-
Let's go with the other guys. What would you guys? How would you guys the game to be like? More hardcore-ish where you have the chance to I don't know, where blunt damage is a bit higher and you have the chance to kill someone or knock someone down with that M153 shotgun that is sometimes useless. You shoot a guy in not in the face. When you shoot him in the face, normally you kill him. But when you shoot him in the chest or in the back, he just turns around and kills you, and that is fucking not realistic in my opinion. A shotgun has a huge power and should knock you down with like not the first shot, but the second, the third one. You shouldn't be able to react as you should normally react, right? What do you guys think?
If you get shot in the chest, you're gonna stagger like that. I mean, but like, let's just face it. It's just at that point you're talking about, because I think it's 760 by 39 has it's 3,000 foot-pounds of energy, or about like I think it's 200 joules. And if you're getting hit in the chest with about 3,000 foot-pounds of energy, you're gonna stagger back.
Okay.
So there, but like I mean, that's just my take on it. But back to what you were saying, I know I got off topic real
No,
quick.
it wasn't topic. How
But-
would you like the game to be?
But I feel like, and you're right, like I get punished for taking my time through a raid because, I want to get the drop on the dude who's the fucking dumbass and he's running through half the fucking raid.
Yeah.
Thinking like he's going to take out the whole raid. Whereas I like to take it slow and go, okay, I hear this guy coming on my right. I'm going to wait for him to come into my field of view so I can take him out. No problem. And I feel like, it should go towards a more tactical and hard, like, hardcore realism kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing, because that's what they're going for. That's what that's what they claim that they're doing. And if they're
Okay.
going to do that, then they should stay that
Okay.
path.
We also need to understand, and this is like a plus point for Joe's opinion. We also need to understand that pistols, for example, are personal defense weapons, or how they called, guys, pistols, or personal defense weapons. Can that be, man? No, PDW is how was the name of the pistols? Are defensive
Defense.
weapons. Yeah, defensive weapons.
Self-defense, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Self-defense
self-defense.
weapons. Exactly. You won't go into at war with a pistol, right? I mean, you have it with you, but it's just as a precaution or as an emergency. I cannot explain this correctly, but what my point is, and this is what I want you guys to understand. Don't expect to go with a pistol and kill everyone that's geared with 4th armor and stuff like that. It can happen once or twice or so, but it shouldn't happen all the time. Now, the story is different when we talk about shotguns. Shotguns is something else, or high caliber weapons, a different story. You know, we tested, and I told you guys this, but the audience also needs to hear this. We tested BS and BP rounds against the M2 IOTV player. We shot him in the chest until he died. The results were with BS rounds 5 shots until he died, and with BP rounds 31 shots. So that's 26 shots difference. That doesn't make any sense. And I posted that on my video, and one of the community managers, I think the junior community manager, came and said, you know what, that's dissing. Although I don't believe him entirely. That was not dissing. That was, in my opinion, BP rounds that are bugged right now in the game.
Right.
So yeah, let's continue, because yeah, I also went a bit off topic. Let's continue with the other guys. MBS, what do you say? How do you like, or how would you like the game to be?
Honestly, my opinion, the game should be harder. Even people will hate for that comment, because like some people like to take their time and planning and everything, and they were punished for that, because one random dude running the high gear possible, reckless all around, and nobody can touch him.
Okay.
I don't like that
Okay.
to see in the game.
Okay, what do you say, Twinkie?
I would like the game to be fixed with the net code and maximum like 4 shots to the chest with 4 armors to be wrecked, you know, like that is my opinion, dude.
Yeah, I think the net code is more of an issue than the armor. But we're talking about armor and stuff like that now. But I agree with Twinkie 100%.
Yeah, we can talk about how the game is, or game status in a different occasion. Yeah, Viking, are you here? Can you say something about this? How would you like the game to be? I guess Viking is not here, so I'm going to switch to Ark. You here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So what do
Yeah,
you think about this?
so I think I am. The problem right now is, at the moment, there is, a lot of running around without really any tactical awareness, like we discussed, and that should be punished. So if you got caught like off guard in a bad position, no matter what kind of armor you have, you should be extremely hurt or go down,
Okay.
like without a doubt.
Okay,
I mean,
Royal.
Some rubles should not protect you from that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Royal, you here? Oh, Royal is completely muted. Slade, you have something to say about this?
What about like playstyles?
How would you like the game to be, or did I ask you?
Yeah, you already asked me.
Yeah, okay. So that means that's it, I would say. Only my opinion.
Everyone
But
except
yeah.
Stalker, maybe.
A Stalker, but he's
Stalker
muted, and he
doesn't have
had a
his
problem with the
microphone,
mic.
so-
Okay, so my personal opinion is, like 2 patches ago, or I don't remember exactly when, there was a very nice balance between same caliber ammo. When we tested this with Twinkie and with you, Ark, and with the other guys, we found out that BS killed a player, a geared player, a fully geared player with 4 rounds, BP with 5 or 6, and so on, 7, and non-AP rounds with 13 and 14
or
and stuff
11
like that.
or 14. Yeah.
Right now, if you shoot someone with PRS, Yeah, PRS it's called, right? PRS.
Yeah, PRS.
Yes.
We shot. We do you remember Twinkie? We did the
Yeah,
test.
60
We
round mag,
shot
dude.
a full 60 round mag into the same player. I mean, he had the new M2 and a new IOTV. We shot a full 60 round mag into his
In the
chest,
chest,
and
yeah.
nothing happened. The guy was still alive. And because I didn't want to reload the mag, I only had the mag in the raid. I said, "Fuck it, we're gonna leave it like this. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm not able to kill you. You know."
Very little penetration as well.
Yes. I don't know
Like
what to say about this.
no shock damage, no nothing.
Yeah, nothing. No blunt damage, no shock for the player, nothing. You know, he didn't fall down. He didn't fall down, nothing. All right, good. I still have like 3 questions, guys.
Sure.
Blunt damage when carrying heavy armor. But we kind of spoke, we kind of said a lot about this. And I think we can do a different topic separately only for blunt damage. Would you guys agree? Because it's a good topic, right?
I think blunt damage and armor effectiveness could tie into each other.
Okay, so would you want to talk about it now here, or as a different topic?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think it's relevant enough in the topic to bring up.
Okay. As a separate topic, you mean?
No. I'm saying that, like, in regards to realism and armor, I think blunt damage has a place in this conversation.
in this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you want to say something about it?
Can I just slide
would
in?
you want? Yeah, go ahead, Viking. Go ahead, man.
Awesome. One thing that when I first brought the game way back, that I loved was the fact that there was a variation on different types of shotgun shells. You obviously got buck, and then you got slugs.
Mhm.
And me putting 2 and 2 together, I thought, well, if there's armored guys in the game, I'll be able to hit them with a slug, and it will do some kind of internal damage. It won't do necessarily, damage
It will not penetrate, but it will do some blunt
Yeah.
damage. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like getting hit by a sledgehammer. You're gonna feel the effects of it after. Maybe 2 or 3 raids in, I learned that it does absolutely nothing. Period.
Mhm.
And for that, if anyone that has weapon experience, they know what a slug is. And rather than having buckshots where it's X amount of smaller shots inside one shotgun shell, it is a solid slug, and it's powerful. It goes through car doors. So if it's going to hit your body armor and not go through it, it's going to cause some kind of pain, some kind of injury internally to you.
Shock,
Whether
definitely.
that be shock or
Knockout.
your stamina could even be halved, but
Stamina
or
decrease,
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It knocks the wind out of you.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say you're aiming down sights and somebody hits you in the chest with a slug round. Your gun's gonna go straight up in the air, and you're gonna lose any and all ability to hold that weapon because it's gonna knock the wind out of you.
Yeah. And that's exactly what we had in the game. Aim punch, right? It's not in the game anymore. Yeah.
Right, and I think it needs to be back in the game because
Yeah.
if I'm shooting somebody in the chest with a slug round and they're totally fine with it. They're like, you know what, man, you didn't have to give me a pat on the shoulder, but I know you're behind me now. Let me just turn and shoot you in the face. I feel like, especially if you shoot somebody in the back, it's gonna not because you're leaning forward into your weapon because you're gonna be off balance anyway. Let's say you shoot somebody in the back with a slug round, it might not necessarily go through the armor. Let's say we're just talking about IOTV armor or Gen 4 armor. But it's going to make them stumble forward, and it's going to knock the wind out of them. Their vision's going to be all messed up, and it should honestly take some health away because it's going to bruise not only your skin but your internal organs that are going to be right behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Or
It just
break
won't
some
actually
bones.
pierce through. Yeah, exactly. Break some bones. It's not going to pierce through and actually break skin. Well, it could break skin from the blunt force, but my point being is it's gonna mess you up more than just a little bit. So
Okay.
I have a feeling, and buckshot will do the same thing, not nearly to the effect that slug will, but it definitely needs to be something in the game. If you shoot somebody, even in the foot, so if you shoot somebody with a slug round in the leg, it's gonna knock their feet out from under them, 100%. There's no way that you're gonna be able to predict that.
Okay.
Same thing to the helmet. If it hits your helmet, it's going to knock you for 6.
Or break
Right,
the
and
leg, maybe.
Yeah, and a slug round will go through a helmet. So I mean,
We'll go through. Okay.
let's assume that the helmet actually maintains integrity and it stops the round. Like, you got to think that you got like an inch like blunt force area, and it concentrated on a piece of the skull. So it's gonna, like, in real life, and I don't necessarily think that this should be the way it should be in the game. but you get hit in the back of the head with a slug round, and you're wearing like a 6B47 helmet or even like a military issued combat helmet. It's gonna knock. It legitimately will knock you out. Like it's. I mean, like you see like these football players in America getting concussions from a significantly less amount of energy than that slug round is going to produce to the head.
Okay.
And I think that should be, it should definitely not. It shouldn't knock you out, because imagine how tilted you'd be if you got hit in the back of the head and your guy goes unconscious. You know what I mean? So you're not dead, but your guy's just like laying face down on the ground. But at the same time, it should definitely blur your vision, and it should significantly affect your ability to react and engage that target who's shooting at you.
Okay,
100%.
very nice, and it makes total sense for me. What doesn't make sense for me is, you just said this, but like 5-10 minutes ago you said that you would like the game to be as it is, and that hardcore variant is not an option, or it shouldn't be an option for you. Why,
What I
Joe?
meant to say is I like the way that people are aggressive in the game. I don't think I don't want to slow the pace down necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, I would, when it comes to taking 30-40 rounds in the chest, I think that's unrealistic and it should be taken down.
That's
But
too much.
I like the aggressiveness in the game as well. The confidence that the armor and that weapon brings you, I like that. But at the same time, I think there needs to be some realism involved with that.
Okay.
You see somebody with a shotgun down the hallway, you're not just going to push them, because you know that if they hit you in the chest, it's going to make you stumble, and that's going to make slow you down.
Okay.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I still like.
I understand.
The aggressiveness.
You like the aggressiveness of the game, like it is right now. But there should be a balance. Just to make things clear, there should be a balance right now, because what we see, the differences we see, are not normal, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I may add some real quick, and that's a good point, because you don't want there's a fine balance between a game that's fun and a game that's almost too realistic, and I understand that. Like, that's I totally got exactly. And I feel like that there should be a set of it's all about balance. It's got to be the perfect balance between fun and realism.
Okay.
And
but excuse me,
feel.
Slade. Excuse me, but this is not fun for me. Shooting a guy, shooting 60 rounds of PRS into a guy's ass.
We agree,
is not
100%.
fun.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I don't think that's.
We all agree that the current situation is not fun.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Especially for new players, because one of the biggest. I bought this game just for a little bit of backstory on me again. I bought this game about 1.5 years ago, and I stopped playing within the first 2 weeks because, the netcode wasn't really good at the time. But as a new player and somebody who didn't want to focus a lot of time on like learning stuff and watching YouTube videos, I felt extremely, extremely underpowered compared to everybody else. This was also end of a wipe too when I started playing. But like I would go into a customs raid, and I would have an SKS with a PSO on it, and I was like, man, I if I see somebody, I'm confident in my shots, and I'm confident that I could put a couple rounds into his chest, and
because
render
you
him
know
useless.
yourself,
and then exactly. And I'm not saying I'm some kind of hardcore FPS god or anything like that, but I put a scope on somebody who's 50 meters away with 7.62 by 39. I should drop the dude,
Yeah.
But then I shoot somebody twice in the chest. They turn and look at me, and they got they didn't. Yeah, it was an MP. No, they didn't have the MP5s. And I think it was an M4. And coming from somebody with military experience who knows that an M4 isn't it's effective at 50 meters, but at full auto, that thing's going to be all over the place. And I'm shooting at somebody with a semi-automatic weapon.
We can talk about auto mode in a different topic, because that's very important. It should
right. What I was getting at is that it's extremely, extremely difficult for a new player to feel the gratification of accomplishing a kill. But let me rephrase. So the caveat to that is when you actually do kill somebody, like you get this sense of euphoria, and that's what makes you keep playing the game. But more often than not, you can come across somebody, even a level 20, 25 geared player, and you're a level 4 geared player. You're almost never going to win that fight. And I have a feeling my feeling is that somebody with any tactical prowess should still be able to defeat an enemy that is doing something stupid, running around in the open, just like all willy-nilly. Somebody with any tactical prowess should be able to kill that guy. You should be punished for being too aggressive. I guess in factory and stuff like that's a little different, but like customs running into the dorms and having you're aiming down the
without
hallway.
thinking, without peeking, without
Right.
listening.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly what Ark said. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So like you're looking down the hallway waiting for somebody because a fatal funnel's the hallway. Anyway, they come in the hallway, you blast 15, 20 rounds into his chest, and he turns and one taps you. It's like, that's not a very rewarding feeling at all.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we all agree that the current situation needs to be improved. We are not talking about glitches and bugs and netcode. We all know that the game has problems. I would say netcode has serious problems regarding this. But we are talking about how the gameplay is. For me, the gameplay, like right now, I mean, I'm okay, and I'm glad if I can tank 30 shots and I turn around and kill the guy, But on the opposite side, when it happens to me, when I'm the guy that needs to shoot 30 rounds and don't kill the guy, it's extremely frustrating, This is not fun for me. It ruins all the fun,
Yeah, and don't forget the hackers, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those are topics that we will never finish if we start, I mean.
Oh, never.
Okay, so good. We can give this actually for finished. It took longer than I expected. We planned to do like a 30 minute podcast, but I think we already have an hour or so. And would you guys like to add something at the end?
A couple of things, I guess, but
Yeah.
Stalker also has his text that he wanted to show you.
Yeah. Would you mind? Did you read it? Because I didn't have time. I had to think on what the guys say and ask the next question and so on.
I haven't read it yet.
Okay, I will read it and we'll probably post it at the end of the video so that the guys can pause the video and read it privately or with more time, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, so MPS, anything else to say?
Oh, I hope the game with the next patch will fix that issues with bugs and network. So
that
I hope they also balance a lot of stuff, especially the armor.
I hope so too. Okay. Slade?
No, that's it. I'm good.
All right, Joe, you have something to say at the end?
No, just piggybacking off what MBS said. I really hope that the 0.10 patch does fix a lot of bugs and the armor. A little bit of a nerf to the armor. And I think even a little bit of not a buff to rifle rounds to like level 1 and 2, like PACA 3M armor. But I do feel my feeling is that early level players should be able to want to buy or feel comfortable and confident buying that PACA armor against scavs and stuff like that. Because I've noticed whenever I was early level, I didn't ever buy any PACA or 3M armor because I just felt it was a waste of money because I was just getting one tapped and stuff like that. So maybe a very slight bump to small caliber, like pistol caliber rounds to those, because like that Kevlar you'll be surprised how many rounds that Kevlar can take, because it can take a 38 special, a 44 mag round to some of that soft armor, the Kevlar armor. And it obviously it's going to be, the blunt damage is going to be significantly more with soft armor than it would be for like Gen 4 IOTV armor and stuff like that. But I have a feeling like even buckshot, for instance, it could stop some buckshot rounds too. But a slight buff to small caliber rounds to the PACA and 3M armor, and then a pretty significant nerf to I don't necessarily think Ford armor should be nerfed, and the reason why I say that is because of the expense that comes with buying Ford armor. Being 3 Bitcoins. If somebody's willing to spend 3 Bitcoins, it should maybe have a slight nerf, but it still should be a really effective piece of equipment and piece of armor to stop a majority of rifle rounds and obviously small caliber rounds. But I do think that the blunt damage aspect will offset a lot of the armor issues that we are experiencing right now.
I think so too.
So I have a feeling that even a slight nerf to the higher tier armors, but an extreme buff and adding blunt force trauma and damage to those, to just different caliber rounds and stuff like that, would offset or make the balance more realistic and more, what's the word I'm looking for, fair, I guess. to
Okay,
having that
okay.
armor. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So instead of you just dying instantly, it'll stop you. It'll stop the round, and it'll save your life in the raid. But you are going to be extremely fucked up whenever you get take that shot to the chest with slug armor or
Mhm.
slug round. So that's kind of my whole
Okay.
philosophy on it.
What do you think, Twinkie?
I think they should add a new trader, like to be called a personal trainer, and you have to pay him instead of running on the map like a chickless chicken. Just keep your character alive and increase the strength and the endurance. Though that would be fucking awesome. So you can pay money actually to increase your skills. I want that.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, what I would like to say, everything that you guys said is correct so far, and I agree with it. What I would like to see in the game is less difference between same caliber, as Ark mentioned exactly at the beginning. It doesn't make sense for me. In my opinion, the BP rounds are bugged. It doesn't make sense that there's 26 bullets difference. That doesn't make sense at all. The next thing that I would like to mention is, although the guys said that the game is not necessarily or it shouldn't represent reality like 100%, because it's a game and you need to pay for that helmet you take and you buy and so on. I don't think it's realistic that you shoot a guy 4 times in the head with some whatever caliber you choose, big caliber, and the guys just simply turns around or runs away. I do agree that to a certain degree there's a lot of dissing in this kind of issues, and it will be fixed with improving the netcode, but still I think it's too much. You aim for the head, you have those kills to aim for the head, and you're being punished because what happens is not realistic. That's my opinion on because we are talking about armor. I can also say different stuff, but I'm just gonna stay to the topic. Regarding armor, if it's possible, I don't want to see too many differences or too big differences between the same caliber. I understand 9mm is a thing and you can tank those shots, and the blunt damage needs to be improved, and it's not. So that's why you can survive and run away from those situations. But between 545 BP and BS, in my opinion, there should be that huge of a difference. We're talking about AP rounds.
Right,
I
exactly.
think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you
Right,
should be able to
remember
get
that
those.
video where I shot the guy 5 times in the leg and stomach on factory,
Yeah.
and he still survived.
Yeah.
They should have an what from I can see at looking at the damage on Tarkov ballistics and from the health the character has, the damage should be at least 1.5 times higher, maybe even 2 times higher for any caliber, because you cannot survive 5 rounds to the lower body. You can't ever do that in real life and still run around and do things.
As nothing happened.
You can survive. It's just you ain't gonna be moving anywhere.
Yeah, or not survive, not fall on.
Listen,
Right.
as a contra argument to what you guys said, there was someone here, I don't remember the name, and he was in the army. It's possible that he's still in the army, and he gave us some examples when someone got shot by the tank, by the HMG. I don't know what the tank had, LMG,
Oh,
HMG, I don't know.
762 thing.
Yeah, he got shot several times because he went in front of the machine gun and he survived. So there are possibilities. I don't know, miracles, call them what you like. The guy is still alive now. He didn't die, So
There was I think that was Mythbusters on someone else checking the myth where the guy survived 56 I think from
Okay.
the M4 rounds in the Vietnam back at the time.
Yeah,
He survived 3 shots to the torso
I
and
see.
did not die and actually survived and left the area. So
Okay.
yeah, it is possible, but
So
you
it's
need to be lucky for that not to hit the organ.
I would just say, but those are extreme.
Extremely rare.
Yeah, those guys are quite lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
And
That shouldn't be the rule in the game. It should be the help me with the word, guys. The exception, exactly. It should be the rule, right? To tank all those shots and just go undercover or go behind cover and then come back and shoot your M4 and kill the victim or whatever. It should be the exception. Yeah, you can survive, but it shouldn't be the rule, in my opinion. Yeah.
Because in history you got a lot of such
Examples.
Yes, like in before Second World War, when Russia attacked Finland,
Yeah.
there was a famous sniper. If
Oh,
anybody
okay.
know.
Yeah,
no-
I'm
In
sorry.
short,
I cannot pronounce
they
the name.
called an artillery, and his jaw was blown away. He didn't have it anymore.
Yeah,
And
I
he
saw
still-
some pictures. Yes, indeed. Maybe I
Yeah.
can post some pictures at the end of
And
the
he
podcast.
still managed to shoot 2 guys before he retreated.
And he didn't die. Yeah, he didn't die. Yeah, exactly. But
Lived until
that's not majority,
90.
right? MBS. That's like an exception, right?
Yeah,
So normally
like, the
you should
history
die.
got
Or
full
normally,
of those,
sorry.
but those are like the history got full of these examples. Like
Mm-hmm.
somebody survived something impossible.
Yeah, but those are
But,
rare cases, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you
Yeah,
guys
soccer.
don't have nothing else to add, then we're gonna wrap this up. It took us more than 1 hour, in my opinion, 1 hour and 20 minutes or so to do it. And I'm really proud of it. You guys stood to the topic, and we'll prepare something else for the next time. But let's just first hear or read some feedback from the guys. If they want it shorter, we'll have to do it shorter with less questions, or with. But I don't know if we can do it like a lot shorter. You know, there's a lot to cover, especially when we talk about armor and stuff that we like, right? I mean, we could talk days and days about this, and it will still be interesting, right? Even if Joe starts telling us how his experiences in the military, you know, even if maybe he didn't visited, I don't know, a war theater, or how they call it.
I was in a war zone, just for reference, but yes.
A
I
war
see what
zone,
you're saying.
exactly. Even if that didn't happen, you know, but it's still interesting to hear those daily talks that you had with your superiors, or when you went shooting and stuff like that. So we'll expect from feedback from our audience, and if they like it, we'll continue and do another topic. We can talk about a lot of stuff, starting with problems that are in the game. Then we can go.
That's going to be a 4-hour stream.
Definitely. Yeah.
Oh, believe me, if we're on the topic of weapons, I'll talk everyone's ear off.
Yeah.
And we can
That,
That was
start
fine.
talk.
can you move soccer back?
Yeah, Twinkie, move it, please. We can also. There are a lot of topics that we can cover, but first let's hear some feedback from you guys, and we'll see what we'll do next. Okay. Again, thank you for watching, and yeah, if you think you have something to say and want to participate, let me know in the comments, or tweet me, or leave me a message on my Facebook, or come directly to our Discord. Don't forget to sub and to share. See you in the next video, folks. Bye bye. Take care.